Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie, and in this video I'm going to recap and analyze the second episode of Quebec Les Traîtres, maybe that's how it's pronounced, of season 3. So this episode started with some recap where the traitors were not able to find each other, Genevieve and Dominic. So as a consequence, they had to separately arrive at the graveyard, and they had to choose, have their own tasks, you could say, to choose their own traitors, because Genevieve were asked to choose two people who she thinks could be a traitor, like she thinks like could be a good traitor. And then Dominic had to decide among Sylvie and Francois who she's going to choose to become the traitor. So then we start the episode proper, where Sylvie and Dominic both have to, give their case to Dominic so that they could be still in the game, still in the show, and could become a traitor. So first it was Sylvie's turn, and Sylvie was really trying hard. Like she was clearly wanted to be a traitor, and it shows in her demeanor as well. And she was in the conversations too. Even Francois was saying like Sylvie clearly wanted to be a traitor, or at least like she clearly, like her passion was coming out, like how much she wanted to be in the show and how much she wanted to be a traitor. And then Francois' turn came, and he was also like he wasn't so much passionate as Sylvie, and also because he said in his confessionals and even in the first episode I told, like he clearly didn't want it to be a traitor, and he was relieved that when he learned that whoever Karin touched on the shoulder wasn't actually going to be a traitor. So yeah, he clearly wasn't wanted to be a traitor, but of course, if he wanted to stay in the game, he had to be recruited as a traitor in this time. So yeah, he was, trying to convince Dominic that he could be a good traitor. He was saying how good of a traitor he can be because he's a priest, and other people might trust him. And but I was thinking like maybe you don't want to say that much how much of a good traitor you can be, because then traitors would be like, oh, I don't know how much I want you there, because traitors have their instinct to be the traitors and banish other traitors. So I was like, I don't know about that. So yeah, I was already like in my mind, I was already convinced that Francois was not going to be chosen and he's going to be gone from the show. And then I was like, and I was even more sure that I was right when Dominique was started saying, like she was clearly upset what about the Francois comment where he said apparently like she couldn't be just be a retired grandma or something, and she was clearly upset by that, and she bring that up, and she was really like late on him, like how much upset she was. And I was like yeah, I was so sure, and still then I was like yeah, yes, I was sure Francois is not going to be chosen. And I was thinking that there is there's nothing that Francois could say that could make Dominic deciding to keep Francois. So he was like, yeah, I was right. And then she chose Francois. And I was so shocked. Like I was for like 30 seconds, I was like, I had my head, like I had my hands in my head. I was like, what's happening? I did not. I was so sure that she's going to choose uh, Sylvie. And mainly also because, can we talk about the edit? Because in the first episode, Francois was more edited than Sylvie. Sylvie wasn't really there in the episode. She was like at the last minute when they were talking. Nara mainly was talking about her being a traitor. So I was like, they were showing so much of Francois. So I thought maybe he's actually going to be murdered here, and Sylvie is probably going to be banished in that like the next day. So I was like, Sylvie still have some time to be shown, her edit. So yeah, I was like convinced, like no way, like they have shown Francois so much, and Dominic was clearly upset with him. So I was like, yeah, I was gonna be so right, and then that happened. So yeah, I was shocked to say the least. And also the fact that he, like Francois didn't actually want it to be a traitor is the cherry on top. And I'm sure Sylvie is even more upset knowing that she actually wanted to be a traitor, and but she was not chosen. So that's the reason. And Sylvie was clearly upset. Like she was tearing up, and she really teared up in the confessionals. But yeah, she was not happy what was going on. So yeah, that happened. And then Karin gave them keys, Francois and to Dominic, and she made some kind of comment like, "You are gonna meet your traitor soon" or something to that level. And I was surprised actually, because I didn't thought that the three traitors would actually meet that same night, especially because the two original traitors actually failed to do their mission. So I thought they would have much more of a consequence, and they would meet maybe the next day or next night. So yeah, I was thinking that. But then Karin says in like a voiceover type, where they are actually weren't going to meet each other that night. And I was like, what are they doing? Like the edit of Kubek is so like it's like a circle. I have no idea what's gonna happen, and in the next minute they would like do something, and I would like, what? When did that come from? But yeah, apparently the main thing is they aren't going to meet that night. We still aren't shown actually that when they're gonna meet, but we like it was led to believe that they would meet the next night, but mainly they would not meet in that night. Canada is just keeps throwing me on a loop. That's for sure. Dominic then said in a confession, the reason she gave some vague reason why she chose Francois. She said like people were talking about him, that's why she chose, like some kind of vague uh, confessionals. And I was like, people were talking more about Sylvie than Francois. So I don't get it. If that is the reason why you chose him, then I don't get it. Then the next day came. We had some people, like some people have arrived, and some people still have to arrive. And in that time of frame, Justin made a comment about he suspects Dominic. And as soon as that happened, I was like, so he trusts Genevieve, but suspects Dominic. And I was now I'm thinking that I don't know if it's true, if it's gonna be true or not, but I'm really starting to think that maybe he's either going to be murdered or banished by episode 5, or he's going to be for the long haul. Like, I don't know if he's going to win or not, but I think he's going to be for a long haul, where maybe he continues to trust Genevieve, and Genevieve betrays him, maybe banished him, while saying something like, someone close to me could be a traitor, and that's how she banished him. Maybe that kind of story arc he's going to have, because with those two comments of the traitors. So yeah, it's a interesting one, and I'm going to keep looking at it. And then we have Axel speaking, and as soon as he's speaking, I started getting annoyed. Even though he haven't even started yet, already am getting annoyed. But yeah, so more people arrive, and then Axel was saying to others, with which included Nada and Karin, by the way, and he was saying like, if Jacob doesn't come, Nada and Karin, you both are the reason that he doesn't come, or something like that. And I was just like shaking my head, like, what are you doing? And it showed like both Nada and Karin were also confused by that. Why both of them? Like, you were there in the team too. Like, why just them two and not you? I was like, what are you saying? But then he said something like because Karin showed no sympathy regarding Jacob, like sacrificing himself. So he was like, being suspicious of Karin. But then I'm like, okay, even if you suspect Karin, that's okay. But why are you bringing Nada too? Because then you have more enemies and more people who's going to be against you. Like, why are you saying their name? I'm like, I don't understand his strategy. Like, maybe he, by being so out there, he's thinking like, traitors are going to keep him because he's being pretty out there. So he's not going to be murdered soon, maybe banished later on, but that's why maybe that's his strategy maybe. But he's not going to win like this, like, because he's keeping so much attention on himself. Either people are going to be like angry at him because he keep throwing accusations at them, or maybe at the very last second, or maybe like traitors are going to be like we should murder him because people thinks that he must be a faithful or something, like the way he was approaching everyone. So yeah, we will see. It's going to be an interesting ride, that's for sure. So then we had Nada talking in her confessionals, like as she was accusing pretty hard Sylvie the first episode. So she was like, Sylvie had to come. Like she had so much suspicion on her. She had to come, and she's gonna be banished today. Like she was pretty gung ho. But then, of course, as we know that Sylvie was actually murdered, and everyone is shocked, especially Nada. Then we had Genevieve, like she clearly wasn't sure what actually happened. Like she chose those, like she knew she chose Sylvie, but she wasn't actually sure like what actually happened. But then Camille said in the breakfast table to others, like she clearly had it figured out because she said exactly what happened the previous night. There must be two people who must be have been chosen by the traitors to either be murdered or be recruited as a traitor. So yeah, she, like others clearly figured it out. Then we had Nada talking to others. After the breakfast scenes, everyone was talking around the castle, and she was talking about Sylvie and how she had to believe that Sylvie must be a traitor. Like she was kind of defending herself. And Ladi, I'm gonna just say Ladi for now. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Ladi was suspicious. Like why she keep defending herself so hard? Like why now? And especially when Sylvie is not even there. So yeah, Nada is like keep bringing attention to herself. Like people were not even talking about her, but she is the one who bring the conversation to herself, and people are really noticing her. Like some of those players, I have no understanding what is their strategies. And then we had some people really suspicious of Oliver, mainly Caroline, because apparently in the previous night he made some kind of comment like if we eliminate someone, and because there was no elimination, only murder happening the previous night, so she thought that maybe it was a slip of tongue. So yeah, she is really suspicious of Oliver and his comment. And then we had Dominique's confession where she said like she now had to clear Francois' name now as she has chosen him and now he's a traitor. And I'm just so confused. Like if you had to work hard to not make him seem like a traitor or accusing him, then why did you choose him in the first place? Then because first of all Sylvie is already there and you are not actually targeting her, and then also people are already like suspicious of Sylvie, and you already have, I guess, $10,000 richer. Like of course she had to win it, but still people would have extra $10,000 if she was a traitor and she was banished. So yeah, as I said, I don't really get her reasoning of it, and the show is actually showing what is her reasoning is. But yeah, she is clearly right now trying to clear Francois' name, and she clearly, at least I get then, like it is about working together. Then not, she's not trying to throw him under the bus. She was upset with him, but she's not like trying to throw him under the bus right now. So okay, at least she's not being emotionally strategic. So in the car ride, the main thing that happened was Karin was saying to the others that she heard from Nada that Hilary and Oliver were saying like we if we like kill each other or something in the previous night. And now it clearly has become a line of telephone. First of all, Larry was not in there. Even if Oliver said that, at least Larry was not there. So it clearly has become like a mess of a gossip. That's for sure. And Kadin is in the focus of it. And then we arrive at the challenge. First of all, let's talk about Karin's outfit. I'm pretty sure she was wearing the same outfit in the same challenge in the previous season of the English one. And it's the pillow one. And I didn't like it in there, and I don't like it in here too. Like I don't get the fashion choice of that, and it's also not practical, especially in a jungle. Like I get it, it's a fashion, I guess, but I don't know if this fashion is a good one. I'm just saying, maybe I'm wrong. Now I'm really starting to wonder, like, are they filming like maybe the English version is filmed the previous day, and they are filming the previous, like the next day maybe, because she's wearing the same outfit, same ideas, and also the same tasks. Maybe they're doing back to back, but I don't think that's true, because I don't think they have the similar kind of castle as this one. So they are probably filming maybe with a gap of 1 month maybe, but still it's like same outfit. So I was just wondering. But yeah, the challenge, it was the same as the English one. First they have to choose one person, because it's a odd number of people, 21. So sacrificed himself, and I was thinking I would not be doing that, like sacrifice yourself and be able to be murdered, like no way. And also just not that also, but people would be thinking about, why would you sacrifice yourself just so easily, you must be a traitor, like people would say, like people have many much more attention on you. But then I was like maybe if you are going to do that, at least do it in this kind of stage, like so much earlier, because there are so many people. The probability of you going getting to be murdered is low, especially if you have some, I guess, beef going on, or at least talking to people. So yeah, if you are going to do it earlier on in the season. So he then chose the duos, as he was the odd one out, so he was able to choose the duos. But the main thing that happened while he was choosing the duos, that Genevieve saw the pendant that Dominica was wearing, and I was like, wow. Like while the task was happening, the crazy, like a traitor's identifying thing happened. So that is, as I said, that is one of the reasons why I want to be a traitor. Like you, like as a faithful, you have no idea what is actually going on. Like you must be like, yeah, I'm gonna be chosen as a duo or something, and while like such a crazy things are happening. And also Dominique, on her part, it's a very clever for her, like to wear it, because right now it's inside of herself, and it's pretty breezy in the game. So yeah, it is pretty intelligent of her to keep wearing that. And Genevieve noticed it, and I was like, okay, at least she now has figured it out, one of her traitor's mates. So the main thing about this challenge is that the duos are chosen, and among them one would be blindfolded and the other one would guide them, like where is the bag, which is total of $10,000. So they have to go around and find it, and also that only one of them could be saved and have a shield. So not all of them will have it. So that's the interesting part too. And while the challenge was happening, there were so many voices, and like even I, as a like a audience, I couldn't tell what they are saying. I couldn't even imagine like what is the blindfolded people are hearing. Like they must be like going on instinct, on vibes, like where that must be. And they must believe like they are producers there, like if they are danger of hurting themselves, I'm pretty sure they'd be asked to stop or something. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they were just going on vibes. Like the people were shouting, I don't think they were any help to the blindfolded people. And it was just really funny, like the blindfolded people were just like flailing around reaching for bags and like tugging it and everything. So yeah, it was really funny, but that's the mainly the first part of the task. And in total they managed to get $7,400, but apparently Elaine did some, I guess, cheating, because they were not allowed the bags. They had to hold it in their hands, not like inside the jacket, and she did that. So in the end they had $5,800 from this task. And then it was the second part of the challenge, where the duos will have to stand in this plaque like thing, where one of them would have to stand near the water and the other one is in the ground mainly, where they had to write each other's name or themselves too, like who they think should get a shield, or I guess deserved a shield. And if they chose different people, then neither of them will get a shield. So at the end, the people who are shielded and could not be murdered are Jacob, Nada, Karim, Genevieve, and Robert, and the others are eligible to be murdered. So then they got back in the castle, and people were really talking about Karim, mainly like how she is too much of a chaotic. Like people actually think that she's a faithful, but that she's way too chaotic. And we have heard a similar type of arc in many seasons, in many franchises, in many countries, where faithfuls are going to choose to banish people that they think are chaotics and who they think that are not helpful to the other faithfuls. Like they believe that they are a faithful, but they are just way too chaotic, I guess. So they are not helpful to faithfuls. So that is the reason, like so many of them we have seen in other franchises too. So we then had Dom like talking to Larry and Oliver privately and warning them what Karine and the rumor that has been going around. Like apparently those two were together and saying like we are killing together or something in the previous night. So she was like warning them, but while Yadi was hearing that, she was clearly not responsive to them, because as soon as the conversation stopped, she like ran, like literally ran to Yaviar and Elaine, and she was like, "I'm so sure that Oliver is the traitor," it is, and it is pretty clear. Like in the down low, people are really suspecting Oliver. Like even Caroline was like she's the Caroline was the first one who were really suspecting her. So yeah, people are really suspecting Oliver. Actually, I forgot to mention, like they were having a conversation. I think it was before the challenge, and they were having conversation like mainly Eddie, Axel, and some other people, and they were talking about Nada and how she people are suspecting her, and Nada just like sit down in a crouch, and she was really like listening to them and like what they're saying about her, and we saw similar type of vibe. Like she was like right in up to them, like in confrontational mode, like, "Oh, are you saying about me? Why are you saying about me?" Like I'm like, "What are you doing? You need to be a bit chill, and you are going to make yourself not likable. Like if you're not likable, you are not going to be in the castle for long." So yeah, those like Kadeen, Nada, who were actually kind of joined to the hip, like they were having the same wavelength, I would say. Like they were having way too much attention on themselves. That's for sure. But yeah, then we have the round table, and Kadeen, well, contestant Kadeen started immediately. She started explaining herself, but people were clearly not buying, or they already have their mind bent up. And then we had Jacob talk about Kadeen actually. I think like he doesn't actually wanted to vote her, and he also believes that she's not a traitor, and I don't think he actually wants to vote her out. But well, people and most of the people are suspecting her and are going to vote her out. It makes sense that why he would also like want to just vote her out and then build from there. So then we have Larry actually bringing out Oliver in this roundtable, and I was not expecting that actually, I would say, because the way it was like slowly simmering in the background, I was like maybe she would bring it up in the next episode or in the next roundtable. And she was going at him hard, and people were nodding along. And yeah, if it was not for Karin, I think he might have been in a lot of trouble. But yeah, the conversation then circled back to Karin and how she was suspicious, and people would keep asking her where she got the rumor, like that Larry and Oliver apparently said some things, like those killing things. And she was like, I don't know. And I was thinking like, didn't you say in the early part of the episode like Nada told you that? So why are you not saying it? Like it doesn't make any sense. Why are you not just saying it? Or did you forgot that Nada actually said that to you? And not even voted for her, by the way. So yeah, I don't know why she didn't. But yeah, they were going hard on Karin, and as soon as host Karin said like they had to vote, I was like, yeah, contestant Karin is not here for the long. And it was a 20-1 landslide. Like it was crazy. Like it was in a herd, like people were in a herd mentality, and I would say it makes sense. Like it's the first round table, people are scared. Like of course you don't want to be the first out, and at least have a stay in the in the castle. So yeah, it was a landslide, and where everyone voted for her except Karin, who voted for actually Axel. And I bet in the next episode people are going to say from the very start, they would start talking about like how we should not be in the herd, walk as a herd. Next until it could be maybe, I don't know, 11 to 9 maybe. Okay, maybe it's too much, but yeah, I think people would start to branch out, and it would be like I would not be part of a herd, and it would start being like maybe 15 to 5. So yeah, it would branch out, but in every franchise it would be the same thing. Like first round table mostly is a hard landslide vote, and then the next morning they would talk about how I would not be part of a heard, and it would be a vote of like 15-5 the next round even. We will see. I'm just predicting it. So then people are talking in confessionals, mainly so there was Donnie who said in the confessional, like, we are here to banish traitors, not the faithfuls. And I thought that either producers were forcing her to say that, or it was bring up like in the maybe it was in a sarcasm she told it, and they were just bringing it up in middle of hair, because she looks like a smart woman. I don't know if she would have that kind of saying, like, we are here to banish traitors, especially in the first episode. But maybe I'm also overestimating her, maybe that she actually could be having that kind of mentality, maybe, I don't know. And there is Javier, who is also now suspecting Dominic, as she was actually, we are shown actually that she was smiling while Karin was being voted out, and he was suspecting her because she was smiling there. But then the most important thing, I guess, happened, because we were told that if the traitors do not find each other that night, by that night, then they would still not meet. So they still have to find each other. But fortunately for them, Genevieve actually figured out that Dominic is a traitor. He actually called her out in front of others, which I think is pretty faithful. Like, why, if someone call everyone out, like call someone out in front of others, people are like, okay, they must be talking, you know, maybe they have some beef or something, and people are having talks around, and there are so many people, so it makes sense why she would call her out. And then in this long hall, she at the side maybe, and she, like, Dominic was talking to her as a, like, she, of course, she thinks Genevieve is a faithful, so she was like, like any faithful would. So she was talking about casual things, and then, like, she just, like, Genevieve just bring out the pendant so confidently. I was like, wow. And the look on Dominic's face, she was like shocked, really shocked. It was really funny. Then we had actually Genevieve talking to Francois, actually, because she also bring him out and talk to him and show him the pendant. So Francois must have been told by Dominic, like, there is another traitor that I don't know about, and she must have like, they must have a pendant too. Main thing, they finally figured each other out, the three traitors. And then we cut to the turret. So at the turret, they were, happy. They finally managed to find each other. But their happiness wouldn't be for too long, because then Karin give them another twist that they won't actually be able to murder to that night. They have to choose four people, and then among them, one of them would be murdered the next day. So it's going to be a murder in plain sight. And I think that, spoiler, I guess I'm talking about, that I don't think this task is did actually work in the English one. Like, for me personally, I didn't like this task, because I'm pretty sure, like, if you are murdered, it's basically a murder. You have to say, like, before you get murdered, that who are you, a traitor or a faithful. So after one of them got murdered, and of course the person said that I am a faithful, and the other three people, they're basically cleared out. Like, they basically are not a traitor. Like, anyone could be murdered, actually. Like, anyone could be, because it was like people had to choose who they are going to help. So if a traitor doesn't have any help, they could get killed. I don't think any traitor, and I'm pretty sure they also thought that I don't think any traitor would put themselves there. In generally, they don't put themselves, and in a task like that, where anyone could be murdered, why would they put themselves there? So yeah, and though, so the other three were basically cleared out as the faithful. So they had no chance of winning, actually. They were gonna be soon murdered. Like, either they could be banished at the later stages, because maybe there could be recruitment, maybe, but mainly they are going to be killed soon by the traitors. So it doesn't actually help anyone, not even the traitors, and not the faithfuls themselves who were among the three. So yeah, for me, that challenge didn't work for me at all. So I don't know if they are doing the same thing, or if it's gonna be different or not. But I'm pretty sure it'll be the same. So it's not a good challenge. So yeah, we have the three traitors talking about who they think they would put out. Like, they were talking about Larry, Eunice, Steve, and by the way, I have no idea how Steve looks like, actually. But they were talking about them. But basically, we have no idea who they're going to choose. So there are, what, like 17 people they could choose from. Those four people could be anyone. Like they could be anyone. So we have no idea who that can be, and I'm not going to predict that because no idea who they're going to choose. So I'm not going to predict who those four people can be. I'm going to just predict who the murdered person will be. So I'm just going to choose someone who we actually haven't seen and who is just going to be murdered like that. So maybe Steve would be the person who would be just killed. Like we have no idea who he is. Like we haven't actually seen him much. So maybe it would be Steve. So that's just my prediction. And who could be banished? Now that's an interesting one. It could be Olivier because people were really suspecting him. Of course, there could be like a change of person. Like there could be another person who could be heavily suspected next episode. Like anything could happen. But I just am going to have to predict Olivier to be banished the next episode. So yeah, that was the recap and my analysis of this season. It has started pretty strong and there are some interesting characters, some questionable gameplay by some people, but it's a good one. The interaction themselves, the way they interact with each other, that is the fun part of the traitors, for me at least. The strategies, the social play, that's the most interesting part. And I would say really liking Genevieve. Like she's clearly, like, people really like her, the way the people talk about her, and she's clearly also having fun. That's it for this video. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and comment. I will see you next time.